Nothing stated during this presentation should be thought of as medical advice. Always consult your physician. This is for educational purposes only.
All right, well, welcome here with Steve and Jana on our Benun X39 YouTube. And we welcome today Ashley Cameron. She's our very favorite upline. Yes, and she was helping many of you in the very beginning. She's very busy mom. She's homeschooling. She's a Christian lady, and she's also integrative healthcare practitioner. And we welcome her today. We are going to have a discussion about X39 and Lifewave products. And Ashley has some news because something is happening with her health since she is keeping very regular with X39 right now. So Ashley, welcome. And please tell us what is going on in your life right now.
Sure. Thank you for having me. It's exciting to be here with you again. Got busy after Christmas, so it's nice to see y'all in this format again. I have been very careful about making claims about what's happening with my own body because I want to make sure for sure before I say that, something is changing. And so for a little while, when I first started with Lifewave, I was just using testimonies of other people. I was blown away by how certain people were responding. I do a lot of things in my life to take care of my health. And so I think changes for me were more subtle. One of the first things that I noticed was that my menstrual cramps were actually dissipating. Just that time of the month for me, it was much more comfortable. And then also another big thing for me is that for the past several years, it seems like every winter has gotten progressively worse with my fingers and toes. With I haven't been diagnosed, and we don't use diagnosis here, but there's something called Raynaud's, and some of you may be familiar with that term. But basically, my fingers and my toes would just turn white, and they would be just painful, almost numb, but painful in the winter. And it could be just walking around in my house. It could be just at some point I went outside and came back in and they got really cold. And then as they would warm up, the blood would go back to my toes and I would develop something called chilblains. I think that's how you say it. And that's where it blisters, and it wouldn't have, my fingers would turn white, but on my toes, I would get these painful blisters to where I wouldn't even want to wear a sock. So for a couple days, they would hurt until they would heal, and then it would come back again. So for that reason, I don't like the winter. I don't like to be cold. And so I've tried several different things to help my circulation, to help my thyroid, to help my adrenals, to make sure things are, going right. But it wasn't until I wore X39 for consecutive months. And I would say, I think I started in July, so it was obviously hot. And then as winter came, I noticed that I was starting to kind of get that a little bit in my toes, probably as it first turned cold. But I just kept patching. And by November, December, I realized that my toes aren't getting cold like they used to. And so this has really been one of the best winters. I've just been so excited when I wear, different shoes outside. It doesn't matter. My circulation has just improved, and I do credit that to X39. So that's been really exciting.
Oh, this is amazing. I'm glad you live in Georgia, though.
Oh
Not
my goodness gracious. I don't know how you people do it in Alaska and any further north than Georgia. I want to go south.
right. But this is exciting. And what I like about this is that, well, Ashley is 39, okay? So let's talk age here. When we are offering patches, with my experience and people that listen to Steve and me, they're usually 50 and above. So by that time, of course, you have so many diagnoses and you don't feel good. You are aging and all kinds of stuff is coming on you, and bones are aching, or all kinds of stuff. So usually in your age, it's not as bad yet. And so with the Lifewave product, we are seeing that more people in older age are kind of interested. And with you, when I met you first time, you were telling me about these experiences of other people, and you are in integrative healthcare practitioner. So I understand why you chose Lifewave after your research, because you use it as one of many tools. You have many tools to return people's health back to normal, but that was another tool that kind of helped you to advise people toward the health journey. But I just looked at you as you're such a healthy lady. You take care of your health naturally. So I never heard your personal experience. So to hear that you actually had trouble and then this is resolving. Now, listen, you wore patches since July. Today is February. So you had to stay on them for quite a long time. Was it 6 months? And that's when you started feeling
Yeah,
better?
about that. And I would say too that, a lot of what we're trying to do is prevent our bodies
Yeah.
from going downhill. And so even now, I'm not 40 yet, so I can't say, but still holding on to 39. But I have a lot of friends who I've heard say, that this is just, I guess this is 40. I guess this is 40. I've got this pain or I've got this. And so, it's good to start, like, get ahead of it. So if you do
Right.
have younger listeners, and even older listeners that are in good health that have taken steps to preserve their health, I think that it's just another tool in the toolbox to, prevent things down the road.
And exactly, you're correct. We need prevention. We need to prevent from going that route or having that, bone trouble after 50. We know that this is a major, major trouble for women after menopause. And just you speak about your menstrual cycles, this is, very common now because we are getting a lot of hormone interruptions from plastics, from EMF. So women are suffering with major hormonal issues as young as puberty right now. So just to know that even this is getting resolved with Lifewave patches, that's very encouraging. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think so too. And I'll say that I studied health education in college, and then I had a family, and I wanted to take the natural route, and so I went back because I thought, well, I can use this to help other people. I went back and became a practitioner, but I haven't practiced. I'm a mom. I homeschool, and so I'm really just learning, and I pass on information as I can to family and friends. But one of the things that really drew me to Lifewave was that it doesn't matter what medications a person is on. It doesn't matter what supplements they're taking, that it's a tool that they can use that doesn't interact with those other things. So maybe with supplements, it would interact in a positive way, but with medications, there's no contraindication to taking it. And so that gave me assurance that I can recommend this to the general public or to family and friends, and not have to do tons of research on all these other things that I don't at this point in my life have time for. But this is going to be just such a benefit to people regardless of what they're already taking.
Yes, and that's an excellent point you're making here, Ashley. I'm studying functional diagnostic nutrition, so I'll be a coach, helping people to find the roots of their illness and helping them resolve the symptoms the most natural way. So I'm extremely excited about Lifewave patches, and you're absolutely correct that they don't interact with any medications that they are prescribed or any other supplements. And that gives you kind of peace of mind that you can freely
Yeah,
recommend them and help them. And there is
right.
nothing better than knowing that you are activating your own stem cells. And as you know, at the age
Right.
of 35, we already don't have 50% of them. So you are 39. So keep that in mind. 50% of your stem cells
Yeah.
are not active. So you starting now, this is a major, major advantage. So even younger
Mhm.
people, please, keep that in mind that we want to keep our stem cells activated. So we are getting bombarded
Yes.
from everywhere. Imagine food being poisoned, air being poisoned, water being poisoned. All of these affects us. And now we have Wi-Fi, right? So we have electronics. So this is a constant bombardment of our bodies. So to
Yeah,
have a
definitely.
patch, yeah, go ahead.
That's right. And I will say they're not contraindicated with medications, but there are supplements that will help to enhance the effects. And some of the main ones we need to focus on are electrolytes. So your sodium, magnesium, potassium, and these are the things uh, that are like spark plugs to our cells, and they keep us hydrated, and they actually help your cells to become more responsive to the patch. So I don't know if you want me to go in a little bit to how the patch works.
Yes, go ahead.
Um,
Explain how it works.
okay.
What
So
did you have in mind when
yeah,
once you had that?
a lot of people have been really nervous about what's in the patch or how it works. And, it's such a new technology, and such a unique technology that it does take a little bit of getting your head wrapped around what it is. But basically it's about the size of a quarter. Yana's got one on her wrist, and, it's covered, and so nothing penetrates through. It's like a polymer casing, and nothing penetrates through it. So there's no drug, no chemical, no stimulant that goes into the skin. It basically works by reflecting the light that your own body emits back into your body. But it does this at a specific wavelength, and it's very targeted. So each patch reflects a different light wave back into your body. So the X39, for example, reflects a light wave that then elevates GHKCU, which is a copper peptide, and that in turn helps to turn on stem cells. So this is something that they're very transparent with how it works. The company is, you can look at it online, but within the patch is just, I believe it's sugar crystals that just form a pattern that reflect a light back into your skin. But when we make sure that our cells are hydrated, our skin is actually more receptive to that, and then our cells are more receptive to this input that the patches are giving.
Mhm. Yes.
Did you want to add anything to that?
No. So basically, in a very short summary, that patch is like a mirror. It's a reflector, and it reflects the light,
Right.
your own light that you emit out of body back to you, which in turn activates, like you said, copper peptides, which in turn activates your stem cells. And they're very targeted. Each patch is targeted. But don't you think that X39 is like a master patch? It's more comprehensive, more systemic.
Yeah, I would say so. And it's actually the most recent patch that the company has come out with. And I think that the growth of the company speaks to the power of X39. The company is about 20 years old, but X39 has been around. Is it 5 years, Jana? That
Yes,
X39
I
has
think
been around?
2018, right? 2018
Okay.
or 2019.
And the company exploded since then, and it just hit #1 in home businesses this week. So the company has taken off, and I think that they credit a lot of that to the power of X39 and just the fact that it's changing people's lives and changing their health.
Right. And now, listen, you are a Christian, so I know that you would be very, very careful what you're putting on your body and what kind of technology you are using, considering that nanotechnology can be used for some bad things that we won't go into at this particular podcast. But why do you feel safe as a Christian using Lifewave technology?
Well, one of the things that I look to is the leadership in the company. And I have heard several times David Schmidt talk about Jesus. I've heard him talk about the Bible. I've heard him credit God, and he claims to be a Christian also. So that has helped put my mind at ease. But even still, I've had to kind of sort through and make sure that this was something that I felt comfortable doing. There are things that I don't feel comfortable with, that are out there right now. But I just look at this as a tool, and I don't worship it. I don't claim it to be the end all be all. I think it's one thing that we can use for our health. And God gave us light, and everything that happens in our bodies is part of His creation. And so, if this patch is able to harness a bit of that incredible creation and the intricate design that God has put inside of us, then I just think that it's an amazing thing to be able to use.
Yes, I completely agree with you. Once you do your own research, and every person should, it's okay to listen to friends and listen to interviews with David Schmidt, but still look through everything, study it, pray about it. But after doing all of these steps, I truly understood this technology. I really understood it's nothing harming. In fact, we have to worry more about what's in our regular food in a restaurant. When we go with families to restaurant and they're eating foods that are maybe GMO, genetically modified, like corn and a lot of other foods that they serve us, right? So I would be more afraid of stopping by maybe McDonald's or going to a restaurant and what's in those foods. And a lot of time we just go and we don't think about these things because we have a protection of our Father anyway. We pray for protection, but this is a specific therapy. And yes, we did research this. It is completely safe. But I will tell you what my other questions are from people that are worried about. Usually, they hear about nanotechnology. So is a nanotechnology bad? Well, the word nano means micro, and I guess the part of nanotechnology are those micro, tiny crystals, right? They're reduced, the sugar crystals and amino acid crystals are reduced to such a tiny particles that you would have to have a very special microscope to see them. So what you will see is just a basic kind of like a little paper inside of that patch. But keep in mind that that's completely sealed off and nothing is entering your body, only frequency that's mirroring, you're basically reflecting back your own heat. So that would be safe. I had another question that, is there any aborted fetuses used during the process of making patches? So I will let you answer that.
Well, I will say that the company is very ethical as far as I can see. I've read everything I can get my hands on, and one of the things that they do say is they don't even test on pregnant women or nursing women because that would be considered unethical. And so even though the product is probably very safe for a pregnant or nursing mother, they let that be at that person's discretion, whether they're going to use it or not. And there are testimonies from both that it's been helpful, but as a company policy, we don't recommend to pregnant or nursing mothers. And so even more so, they would not have tested on aborted fetuses. However, our own pharmaceutical company in our country definitely tests on, uses aborted fetal tissue in vaccines and other things. And so, if we're comparing, our medical industry to this route for, taking care of ourselves, I think that it will find, Lifewave to be a lot more ethical.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and exactly, you're correct. So we can put people's mind at ease. There is no aborted fetal tissues used at all. No cells from aborted fetal tissues are used at all. It's purely just crystals of sugars and organic materials like sugars and amino acids. So extremely innocent, very simple, and extremely holistic and
But
natural.
very, yeah, and David Schmidt, if you just listen to him speak, he's brilliant, and he's come out with he's got hundreds of patented designs, and it's not easy to get a patent. And these patches are just things that he's tested and labored over. And originally he used, I believe it was the energy patch, was created for the Navy SEALs, and now there are plenty of athletes that use it. And so, anywhere from athletes to the elderly, they're really helpful for a lot of different reasons.
Mm-hmm. And he also performed a lot of clinical studies, and some of them are done in very kind of high-end hospitals like the one in France. And he's also having ongoing research and ongoing studies. And he's pretty much like, I listen to almost every interview, like every day I listen to something by David Schmidt. So I'm learning a lot, and it's the best way really to learn right from him. So I really recommend that people just kind of put in a Google David Schmidt explains X39 or David Schmidt explains carnosine patch, and then listen to them, because he's over and over going into a lot of details about the patches, about the technology, about what patches do. And it's very comforting, because the more I listen, the more I learned how innocent and how beautiful the technology truly is, and it's used for most humane purpose and to really help you with your health and activation of your
Yeah.
own stem cells. So that's very good. So now, as we have talked about how patches work and about some concerns that people had, how do you feel about multi-level marketing part of how people are getting these products is from distributors, and some people are really turned off by a network marketing because of the bad experience. So what would you tell us about that part?
I think that a lot of people are turned off by network marketing because they've been overpromised in the past, maybe told that they were going to make a ton of money in a short period of time and it was going to be really easy. And when that didn't happen, they thought it was a scam. I think that I think network marketing can be a really incredible business opportunity. It is a business, and you have to work it and treat it like a business. If you want it to be a hobby, that can be okay, but you're probably not going to make a lot of money. Some people may just want to make enough to pay for their patches, though, and that's great. But it's not a get rich quick. And so I think you have to look at it as a business. As far as the network marketing structure, I have never been turned off by it because I just think it's people helping people that help people. And so I think that that is a great thing, especially now when we've got, big business around us everywhere, and, maybe companies that we don't align with, ethically. And, we want to, I think I like to shop local, for example. I like to shop in my downtown store because I know the owners. I also like to support moms who are at home trying to, homeschool like I am while they, have a side business. And so I think that it can be just a way that we can support each other. It's not get rich quick though. So hearing that, I think though, makes it seem like more real for people, if we're just transparent with that it is a job, but it's doable if it's something that you want to do.
Right. And that's exactly right. I was at first turned off by network marketing myself. Like, I was like, oh, is that another MLM? But then I listened to David Schmidt again on that one as well, because he was challenged by that question. And he explained why did he choose that route? Why did he even do that? And he said originally he really didn't want to, but somebody told him, well, how would people really know or get attention or help that they need? Like, if that product was just on a shelf in pharmacy, how many people would hear testimonies? How many people would be helped and explain how to use it, right? But now with this type of marketing, what people are really getting, it's quite extraordinary, because if I just think of my upline, like I can text you anytime. And if I have a question, you're going to do everything you can to answer it or find me the answers, right? The same thing with
Right.
Todd and Shannon, the same thing with Mia and Richard. And then not only that, we found each other and we became this big family. You know what I mean? Like, you find amazing people that truly care, and they want to know that what you're feeling, how are you feeling with the patch, and help you with how to wear it, and any question you might have, and any support you need. Well, if I went to pharmacy and bought this product, I would not get any of that. None of that, right?
That's right.
So
That's right. I actually have I was just going to say, I have a health booth at a store in my downtown, and I've got all kinds of different types of supplements, but I haven't put X39 on the shelf because it does take some explanation. And so I think that that's definitely, like you're saying, a reason why, it takes personal testimony, it takes reaching out. And I think your reach goes further because you make personal connections, and, you share from your heart that you hear somebody's experiencing something, dealing with some health ailment, and you have a possible solution for them.
Exactly. And why would we want to support big pharma or some major corporations or Amazon? We know that they are the ones who lie to us many times, right? So why not to support common people who take time to learn about the product and tell about their experience? Some people may think, well, you're only talking your experiences because you want to make money. Well, I can assure you that is absolutely not true, because every single story I hear, everybody tells me, no, I use the product first. I wanted to make sure it really helps me before I was even talking about it to my friends. And that was exactly my story with Steve. In fact, I was so skeptical in the beginning, and I was mocking the product. Back in when Manuel was sending us patches, I didn't believe none of that. I never looked into it. That's true. But Steve was patching me and like putting this patch on me every single day. And I was like, why are you even doing this? Like, what can this little thing do for me? And it wasn't until several weeks later when I went to Tennessee and I missed my patches. I didn't bring them with me, and there was no Steve to patch me. And then I noticed, my old symptoms coming back, and I finally connected the patches to me feeling better. And then I took an interest and I said, well, let me see what these patches are about. What is the technology? So I started studying it, and it became really, really interesting. And when I saw more and more changes and connected that my well-being is really connected with this patch, and then I saw what it does for Steve, I was
It
just,
made me good looking.
yes, and I was just really I'm sorry, Steve, he's a joker, right? Like, he's comedian. So, but anyway, I was so excited that I just said I have to be part of this journey, and I have to tell all of the people that listen to our ministry and who I know, all of my friends and family. So I needed to make sure that people know about that. And I was overjoyed that I have another tool for my own business of functional medicine that I am just entering like right now. So thank you, Ashley, so much. That was a wonderful explanation. Thank you for your support. Thank you. I'm very happy about your results with X39. And do you have any
Same to you.
words? Yeah. Do you have any words?
Yeah, well, I was just gonna add to kind of what you've said about just hearing people's results, and people thinking that we just share because we want to make money. But my first testimony was my dad, and he has no vested interest in the company. I gave him a few patches, and his sciatica was gone in just a couple days. So I think that that can sometimes people's results come faster than others. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. Another thing we try to tell people is that it's not, you don't just patch and keep eating ice cream and Twinkies and, expect to lose weight. I think that is part of over-promising, and why a lot of people get a bad taste of an MLM, because you promise the moon. But, we still, even David Schmidt is extremely educated in nutrition, and so he will talk about how to make sure we're getting all the right nutrients that will help to enhance the results of the patches. So I think Jana and I are going to do some health education in the future, so I'm excited about that. But the patch is a great way to get started on a health journey, though.
Yes, and I'm looking forward to our cooperation, you with integrative health and me with functional diagnostic nutrition. And I think it's pretty much the same thing anyway. We're
Sounds
both,
like it.
yes, we both can run tests and help people. And this is just like Ashley said, it's one of many tools. There's many tools to health, and you have to incorporate a lot of them, not just patch. If you really think that you can put a patch on, eat badly, not move your body, not to change your lifestyle, and even your positive thinking, right, Steve? Right. He wants to eat his powdered donuts. No, I'm on top of him. I won't allow that. But anyway, so truly I was just explaining to Steve, Ashley, if we keep re-injuring our body with the wrong lifestyle, imagine what we're causing our stem cells to think. You know, stem cells are very intelligent cells. It's almost like they have a brain of their own. They know where to go first. They know where your line of emergency is, and they are going there. Like they're concentrating around your injury, be it in a liver, heart, whatever. And it is what they think is important for your survival. That's where they're going to go first. So if we are
Right.
injuring our bodies, we have already bombardments from every side. GMO foods, like we might eat it accidentally when we go out to restaurant for a dinner, right? Or Wi-Fi, or something in the air they have released, or something from medications from the doctor, and so on. So imagine if we keep injuring our body with the wrong choices of what we eat, or whether we're getting a sleep, or if we allow the stress to totally, overtake our day. We have to understand, even as Christians, that Lord Jesus told us, do not fear. He has overcome the world. So trust in him for many situations in our life, because we have to have stress control. So let him be our rock. Just like Bible says, throw all of your anxieties upon the Lord and he will care for you. So I had to learn this myself. That was hard to do, but I had to learn to truly rely on him. So I don't have shoulders big enough for stresses of life. We got to give it to God. We got to give a lot of our situations that happen in our life. We got to give them to Lord. He asked us to, and that's our stress control, right? So if we don't do that, one little patch is not going to take care of absolutely every area of our life. So yeah, like you said, don't overpromise, but know that it's an amazing tool, another tool in our toolbox to better our health. Now, that's my speech, but anyway, go ahead, Steve.
Well, what I was going to say too is that, one of the things I call it the prejudice syndrome too, that the patch has. It makes girls look better, but guys, we still look the same. But I was going to say this in relation to the fact that Ashley was talking about being 39 and soon she'll be 40. And we've got a good friend of ours. In fact, Bonnie is actually doing the patch herself. She comes from a family, Bonnie's mid-70s. You would think she's 60 years old. She's very youthful looking. She said her mother, who's in her close to 100 years old, looks like she's 70. So I have a feeling that Ashley will be one of the few people that we get to see that, because of doing the patching and the stem cells working, unlike yourself and Todd, Shannon and Mia, where they are all looking younger before and after, she'll be able to keep a youthful look much longer in life as a result, because of the stem cells being activated. I mean, it's an amazing thing when you think about it. I mean, I don't say it as a joke. I really say it as because, granted, you're turning those stem cells back on in your body as they're starting to want to decline in you already. You're causing them to reactivate back at their full potential once again. So as they say, once you hit 50 or so, then you really begin to start, your aging process starts. But the aging process even begins at around 35 years old, because half those stem cells are no longer activated. And we begin to start to age then. That's why everybody's afraid of when they turn 40. Oh my gosh, I remember my mother, we had all the crows out in the front yard. Lordy, Lordy, look who's 40, that type of thing, right? And, but hey,
One of the things that
Go ahead.
Sorry to interrupt. I was actually gonna read a text because it kind of goes into this text. One of the things that excites me the most about this is just keeping grandparents active with their grandchildren. And so this text actually comes from a grandmother, and she said she's been amazed. I just checked in and asked her how she was doing. She said, I'm on my 15th day of doing a little exercise before I get my day started. I've been unable to, going on 5 years now. I cut around 10 bushes Friday and never felt an ache, which is a godsend. I've been praying for something, anything, to get me back to being the active person I've always been, and this has exceeded any and all expectations. Wow. And then this is the part that I love. She said, I had 3 of my grandkids today, and we had the best time. And so that to me is just why we're sharing, for a grandparent to be able to enjoy her grandkids pain-free, for the first time in years is, such a blessing.
Wow, that was
Yeah.
amazing.
And it's true.
Ashley.
I mean, I have 5
Yes.
grandsons, so I can certainly understand what she means by that. And although at 60, you would think that I shouldn't have as many issues, but it was getting very difficult for me in life. And but now I'm actually running.
Yeah.
I haven't done that since
We are
the
working
so-
out. Ashley, we are actually
Yeah,
working
that's
out with weight.
awesome.
So that's
Good
amazing.
job.
Unheard of before. And if you knew Steve's story, he was before the patches, he was actually telling me and preparing himself mentally to be on a wheelchair, you know. And I was like, wow, where did we come in life? Like, I'm truly gonna have a husband on a wheelchair and I'll be pushing him around. So that kind
Oh,
of
no, it's
a,
gonna
you
be
know,
electric.
and he was telling me, well, if I get a wheelchair, I have to have a really nice one because, you know, so it's easy on you. So I'm gonna get all the, and he started to look at them, like to choose his
Oh,
wheelchair.
no.
So I was like,
Oh, man.
no, we are not doing that. Don't even put that kind of image in your mind. We are not going there. And then, of course, we started patches, and Steve started bending, which he never could bend. Like when something fell on the floor, it's
You
either
leave it on the
Ariella or
floor.
me had to pick it up, or he left it on the floor. Or we went to a store and grocery shopping. I had to pick up a lot of times my own groceries because he couldn't do it anymore. And how it made him feel bad because he's the man, right? So he wants to help his wife with grocery bags. So it really and truly changed our life. And now we are working out. He's lifting weights, he's running, we are walking. So these stem cells are doing
That's awesome.
something and really helps us enormously much. So this is the main drive why we are sharing this particular product. And yes, Ashley, you being 39 and you started now, you will see it will give you enormous advantage. And I think that that's what you should tell your own generation. So when you are listening to this and you are young, 35-year-old or 30-year-old, just more of a reason to get on a patch right now to prevent from your stem cells going dormant and prevent this aging process. So Ashley, you have a lot of work to do in your integrative health, helping people.
Yes, there's a lot of people that are out there that need help, so I'm glad that we can offer this.
That's right. Well, anyway, we had this nice discussion, and with Ashley, we are in touch. We're gonna cooperate together, and I'm sure we're gonna do more of these podcasts together, shows together. Maybe they might be more targeted. So this was kind of more general explanation of people's fears and what the technology is about. But thank you for your testimony, Ashley. We truly
Thank you.
enjoyed this.
Thank you. Always fun talking to y'all.
Thank you so much, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
listening, everybody. Bye.